Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. Mexico has defeated the United States 2-0, our first victory over our arch rivals in 5 years. We did so in Guadalajara, we did so with a vintage Raul Jimenez performance, and we did so without Charlie Rodriguez. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you all my thoughts about the game, but before I do, if you like videos about the Mexican national team in English, make sure you hit subscribe, drop a like on the video if you could, and let me know your biggest takeaway from this win down below in the comments. Now, before I say anything about this match, and I'm going to try to talk about the U.S. side as well, two things can be true at the same time. Firstly, this was a friendly match against a U.S. men's national team that realistically, anywhere from 5 to 7 of these players are never going to start in a meaningful match. Number two, Mexico completely embarrassed the United States in this game in what is probably one of the most dominating Mexican victories that we've seen in some time, and maybe the most dominating we will ever see again. I wanted to bring that up at the beginning because I do not want there to be any overreaction to this match. I don't want people to be saying that, we're kings of CONCACAF again, or, we've leapfrogged Canada, or, we've proven we're the second best team, we're pushing the U.S. That's just simply not true. I love the Mexican national team with all my heart, but I refuse to simp, and I'm not going to let one fixture under somewhat weird circumstances kind of influence how I see the trajectory of Mexico. So now that that is out of the way, this match really was as close to domination as I think Mexico can do. I mean, I'm looking at the shots here, 17 for Mexico, 5 on target, only 5 shots for the United States, 1 single shot on target. It was a decent save by Malagon at his near post. Shots aside, I thought it was crazy that for large parts of the game, the United States could not even get out of their own half. I mean, Mexico was more aggressive, we were more physical, and we simply wanted it more. And a little side note here, if you're a US fan watching, this is kind of concerning. Like, I pose the question to you guys, how many more games are we going to see the US show up and kind of not care against a rival and take an L? You already did that against Canada in the last window, and everybody said, oh, it's a friendly, Jack, you're zero ball knowledge. I mean, Pochettino's coming in, Poch is going to save us. Well, now Pochettino's here, and he's already taken an L in his second game in charge. He's already lost to Mexico, which is something that Berhalter, as much as y'all trashed him, and as average as he was as a manager, he did, what, a single time? We talk about this sometimes with the U.S. It's like the culture. I think the culture does need to change. I'm just kind of different from most pundits where I blame the players a lot more than other people do. I think a lot of people blamed Greg Berhalter. He was the scapegoat for why the U.S. seemed lackadaisical. Well, again, Pochettino's here now, and this was a pretty pedestrian kind of, not even power walking like you guys see at the Olympics. I mean, it was like a crawl almost at times for the U.S. No sense of urgency. In Mexico, maybe because it was in Guadalajara, I don't know. Maybe it's because Raul Jimenez is him. They really showed up, and we just wanted it more. It's a cliche that we say sometimes, but it was absolutely facts in this match. Genuinely, the only U.S. player who I think walks out of Guadalajara not looking awful is Brandon Vasquez, and that's how you know things were diabolical. Everyone else, stock down as far as I'm concerned. Now, again, I can say stock down without saying that the U.S. as a national team is crashing down to earth. I still think they are the best team in CONCACAF, but as currently composed with the players we saw, and if they're going to play like that, they're not scary. I'm really curious how the media is going to cover this in the United States because, like I said, Berhalter had a very impressive record himself against Mexico. Pochettino's seen as the, a top 10 manager in the world. I think he's probably more like top 15, and that's coming from a Spurs fan. So I wonder if the media, especially people who are always pro Berhalter, and most of them were pro Berhalter, how are they talking about this game today? I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to check Twitter and ESPN FC and find out myself later. I personally, though, am not jumping ship from Pochettino again, given the fact that the U.S. lineup was what it was. This doesn't mean a ton. I described it more on the live stream, which shout out to y'all if you're on the live stream. I had a really great time. I described it more as Mexico bottoming out. We needed to stop the bleeding in this rivalry, and we did so. I don't really care about the context in that sense. Now, I said this match was played at the Estadio Akron, and I think Raul Jimenez knew that because he truly went full LeBron James in this match. He was doing Rabonas, he was doing bicycle kicks, scissor kicks, zero fear of death, assists via slide tackle, free kicks from 25 yards out. I mean, the man was possessed. And my biggest takeaway from Mexico for this match is that Raul Jimenez must start. Simply put, the rest of the field has not done enough to justify keeping Raul on the bench. It's been a while since we've seen a Mexican attacker pretty much have an impact on the game solo dolo, you know what I mean? And the fact that Raul did it in the US Clásico, that means a lot to me personally, at least. Now, if you want to throw Santi up next to him in a 4-4-2, I don't give a damn, but that man needs to be in the starting 11. Moving on to the rest of Mexico, I thought it was another strong showing from Johan Vázquez and Cesar Montes. We've known this for some time. The defense continues to be a strength for Mexico. Chino Huerta and Piojo, kind of a mixed bag. I'm very happy that Chino Huerta got the goal. I thought he did a little tap dance, a little shimmy shanga on Miles Robinson in the box for the second goal. He's now got 4 goal involvements for Mexico since 2023, so that's pretty solid. And I thought Piojo looked mildly dangerous at times, but, and here's my first negative from the game, I still do not think Mexico created that many good chances. I really like that Mexico was popping off. We were trying to put pressure on Matt Turner, but we still didn't create any, like close tap-ins or, really good shots from inside the box. And this is where we need to be honest with ourselves. If Raul Jimenez was not on one during this game, if he did not have a moment of class in that free kick, there's no guarantee Mexico score. We could have easily been looking at a 0-0. I said it on my preview with Tack that if Mexico was going to score, I thought we were going to do so from a set piece. I just thought it was going to be a corner kick, not an absolute golazo. And that's exactly what happened. From open play, we're still not looking that fluid. There's still a disconnect between the wingers and Raul Jimenez. There's still a disconnect between the midfield and the attack. We're not really creating much down the middle of the pitch. And even though the U.S. kind of crumbled in this game, I thought their back line and at least the midfield defensively kind of did their jobs. And what I mean by that is they didn't secede a bunch of really good opportunities. So as great as this win feels, and it does feel good, we kind of won this game because of moments of pure brilliance, individual brilliance, as opposed to the team being, completely unified and just balling out together. So that is something that Javier Aguirre will still need to correct moving forward. And my last negative and my last point for the video is the substitutions again I thought were poor. I thought it was once again a wasted opportunity for Mexico to play some young players. Like, we didn't really learn anything new about any jóvenes, about any new players. We only learned that Raul Jimenez is back, and we kind of knew that from Fulham already, but now he cemented that with his performance with Mexico. But another national window, or I guess I should say another game, with no Huescas and no Marcel Ruiz at all. It was cool to see Obed Vargas come in for like 5 minutes, but we need to see more than that. The first substitution every single game, every single manager continues to either be Luis Romo, if he's not starting, or Charlie Rodriguez. Thank God Charlie Rodriguez didn't play in this game, and maybe that's why we won. Maybe the U.S. would have came back if we subbed that man on. I don't know. Overall, I think it's very encouraging for Mexico. Like I said, we've stopped the bleeding. We have proved that we can beat the United States. This is a moral victory, if nothing else, and those are important. You need those to turn around the fortunes of a national team. For the United States, I think it was an embarrassment, mainly from a desire standpoint and from a technical ability, and a couple individuals for the U.S., namely Josh Sargent. I mean, very, very poor windows. Kind of a massive stock down for that individual. Maybe a couple others. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. Guys, I will be back on Deadball TV for more CONCACAF content. I'm going to make a video kind of talking about the region overall, and of course, more videos covering the Mexican national team in English. So hit subscribe if you want to see those. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.